Hello, and welcome to Curious Minds Therapy. Today, I would like to share with you 7 reasons to see a therapist. These are some common presenting problems that I've seen in my practice as a counselor and a hypnotherapist. And if these issues are unresolved, then it can lead to some serious mental health problems. So, the first one is when emotions become too difficult to manage. Emotions are very important. I mean, that's the way in which we express ourselves, but sometimes people experience certain emotions that are overwhelming or uncontrollable, or they feel they're impulsive sometimes. Like anger, for example. Anger is just like every other emotion. It's really important and necessary, but if anger is unmanaged, then it can, lead to aggression. And if aggression is unmanaged, then people can become violent. So it's really important to learn ways in which you can express yourself and manage your emotions, and working with a therapist can help you achieve that. The second reason is when you feel alone and that no one understands the problem you are going through. So picture a time when you've spoken to a friend or a family member about your issues, and they're really good at telling you what to do. They give you great advice, but you feel like they're not really listening to the problem you're actually going through, and eventually you stop sharing and start bottling up all these problems and emotions. And sometimes when people start bottling up things, it can impact on their mental health. So when you feel alone and that you have no one who you can talk to, speaking to a therapist can really help you release all this bottled up emotion. Now, the third reason is when you're having intrusive thoughts. For example, I wish I was never born. Think of a time actually when you're doing something real positive, but you kept on getting bombarded with all these negative thoughts, like, going or exercising. You're like, yes, I'm going to exercise today, but you keep getting bombarded with this. Nah, it's useless. I don't really want to do it. It's pointless. So intrusive thoughts, it can really inhibit your motivation to work towards a goal. So if you keep getting intrusive thoughts, then see a therapist. The fourth reason is when there is a relationship conflict or domestic violence. This is a really important area, I think, because building and maintaining a relationship is a commitment. It can have its own challenges. We connect with people, with different characteristics, personalities, and sometimes this can create conflict. Experiences like domestic violence, in which people may be physically or psychologically abused, can leave the person being abused with severe mental health problems, whether it be adult or children. So if you're going through a relationship conflict or domestic violence, it is important to see a therapist. Domestic violence in itself, if you do experience, please, first thing is to report it. The fifth reason is when you're really stressed, that it's affecting your functioning at work, home, relationship, sleep. Everybody gets stressed sometimes. I get stressed sometimes. But there's a certain intensity to stress, like burnout, that can be very debilitating. Stress is known to be a dark horse of many physical and mental problems as well. So when you recognize the impact of stress on your mental health, do see a therapist for stress relief. The sixth reason is addiction. We all develop habits. Some habits are helpful, but some habits can be damaging to our lives, like alcohol, drugs, gambling. When we feel that we cannot function without these habits and have no control over them, lose important aspects of our life, but continue to divulge into these habits, then it becomes an addiction. If you recognize you have an addiction that is damaging to your life, then see a therapist who is trained to work with addictions. The seventh reason is trauma. When we experience traumatic event, it gets embedded in our memory somewhere or the other. It's either vivid memory or very fragmented. Trauma can really affect the way in which we live our lives. For example, a child experiences domestic violence may feel very scared hurt and insecure. They may begin to withdraw from people, you know, and this really carries on to their adulthood, because then they have problems, and it can become a barrier for them forming meaningful relationships with people. If a person has a good support network, then trauma can be better managed. But some people might not have a big supportive network. So if you feel like you have unresolved trauma, then see a therapist. So guys, these are 7 reasons why I think you might benefit from seeing a therapist. Thank you so much for watching this video, and give it a thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe and share your thoughts on this video in the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.